So what it means to get clay centered on the wheel is to make all the lumps and bumps of your clay out and put it perfectly in the middle of the wheel. You can see the clay has spinning on the wheel, sitting on the green bat. And to get it centered, you need to take your left hand, put it directly in front of you, putting pressure, leaning forward, but you also need to put your right hand pushing down on top of it. And those two forces over time will start to center the clay into just a small spinning ball in the wheel. That's what it means to be centered, is to be perfectly round and smooth sitting in the middle of the wheel. Sometimes you're going to see that the clay is going to have a little bit of a wobble to it. It's still smooth and even, but you still need to put your left hand forward, right hand down, and slowly over time, that's going to get back to the middle of the wheel. That's what centered clay should look like. You have to get centered before you even start opening it up. Okay, now let's take a look at what it means to get clay centered in the classroom. You're going to start by patting your clay into something close to a ball. Once you have it, your goal is to try to throw it down in the center of the wheel as best you can. Alright, now for centering. Centering the clay is where you get the clay to get all these bumps out, how it's not totally, how it's kind of offset, how it's wiggling a little bit. Centering takes all of those out. So to center, you get your clay in your hands wet, and I'm going to be using the palms of my hands to center. It's called coning up. So I'm going to take my hands, dig in at the side, and start bringing that clay up. I'm also anchoring my elbows into my legs or my thighs. I'm kind of crouched over the clay. The goal is to not let the clay move you, but rather you move the clay. You be such a force on the clay that the clay has to move. So I'll start with my left hand, put that right in front of me. In my right hand, I'll use this part of my palm to start pushing towards my left. Okay, so now we have it coned up. We took the clay off the bottom and we brought it up. And now we're going to keep the left hand in the same position, but now I'm going to roll my right hand over and start pushing down. So now it's pushed down, but you can still kind of see it starting to wiggle just a little bit. It's not centered yet. All the bumps are gone, but it's not just sitting in the middle of the wheel. It's still doing this a little bit. So I'm going to cone up again and push down. So at this point, you can see that the clay is centered. And it's just like a little ball that's spinning on the wheel. You'll be noticing that I keep going back to grab some water to put on top of the clay. You should always see the lights reflecting off in the clay. You'll feel it on your hands when it starts to get too dry. Just go back and grab some more water.